If we are in stabilized apartments, we should have our rent raised. Legislators said no increase on 1 or 2 year leases. But yet and still, we are getting raised. Community room is like ice. If you want somebody to come, you got to let them know you got to sign after you sign in and sign out of jail. That's right. You don't have to sign and use the community room. But I don't understand why we have to do that.
All right, thank you for it.
Thank you.
Can we just ask when you speak if you can like turn so the people in the room can hear you too, just in case?
My name is Pastor Lois Ford. I also live at 400 Fulton here in Hempstead. We have lots of problems over there. I myself was the president of Tenant Council before I got my hip replacement. I turned it over to Reed because I had my hip replacement. The place is getting terrible. We're getting so now, we go down to the mail to get our mail. It's freezing downstairs. The super have the doors open wide, every door is freezing. Some say they don't like heat down there. I guess they turn the heat off. Only time we can have some heat down in the lobby is the weekend girl. She don't like to be cold. Like Ms. Florine said, I didn't know we had to sign to go into the community room until I'm the president of my birthday club. I went down the other week to get a date for my birthday dinner, and they told me I got to sign an application, like you're in a prison. We need some help over there. Also, up under the garage, there are drug addicts under there every day and every night. Cars, they drinking, they doing drugs, they having sex, they doing everything. And security, we have no security over there. And we got drug addicts coming in and out the building day and night. So I don't know what we're gonna be able to do. It's very scary. I've been there 13 years, but lately I'm scared to go out by myself. So we need some help badly. I wish somebody would come and give us some help.
Anybody else wanna?
My name is Sherelle Goodson. I'm from 100 Terrace. It's about my safety. My son got shot last year on Terrace. And we don't have no police control over there, so much drugs over there. And I've been there for a long time, since I was in Hempstead High School, Hempstead Middle School, and now I'm 52 years of age. So I done seen everything on Terrace. We need police patrol over there. We got a lot of addicts over there. I don't know if there's a bus coming on Terrace just dropping these people off, but they do find their way on Terrace. Okay? It's like when I go to work in the morning, I go to work at 5 o'clock in the morning. I come down, I'm greeted with mask on when I come in my building, going to work at 5 o'clock in the morning. Very scary. I'm the only woman coming out of that building at that time, going to work, going to a garage. I'm telling you, it's about like 13, 14 guys with masks on, okay? I don't know when it might be my day. I don't know these people, they don't know me. So it's very scary. So we need something done on Terrace, bad. So many addicts, I'm finding needles when kids going to school in the garage, by the exit. People having sex in our exits. When the kids are coming down, sleeping in the exit. It's very scary. We need something done on 100 Terrace, okay? It's shooting every day. Like I said, my son was shot on Terrace. He came home from work, went to see his friend, and just right then after he got home from work and seen his friends, he caught 4 bullets. Thank God he's still here, okay? It's horrible. I'm not even having Christmas this year, okay? The reason why, I want to get the hell off, excuse my French, but I want to get the hell off of Terrace. So I'm trying to hold every money I get to get my kids off of terrace and put them in a safe environment. That's only one son. My second son, I'm gonna tell you another story about my second son at 12 years old. 12 years old, he's on the Hempstead football team. He just won the championship. Takes him and his 3 kids, 3 friends, to the Soul Circus on the day before Mother's Day. My son asked me, I don't mean to hold you, but I'm telling you. Take him and his 3 friends to the Soul Circus the day before Mother's Day. We get back, he asked me, he goes to his friend's house. Now, I live on terrace, there's a couple of houses on terrace. One of his friends lives in one of those houses, okay? I'm in my kitchen washing my dishes, I hear gunshots. The first thing I think, where's my son? I called the parent where he was at, she told me everything was okay. Come to find out, it wasn't okay. The guys were shooting at her house with my son in there. But she never said my son was in that house, in harm's way. When my son came home to my front door, he was sweating bullets. Couldn't talk, couldn't get a word out of his mouth. Because he was so shocked and scared. I am so tired of terrorists. I'm not celebrating no Christmas. All I want, my gift, is to get off of terrorists to my kids and to save my life and my kids' life. Because enough is enough. Nothing is being done. There's no cops coming on terrorists. You can call the cops, and it takes a long time before they get there. But the situation is already done. My son, my youngest son, caught my oldest son in his arm when my son got shot. When he ran home, my oldest son ran home with 4 bullets in it. And my little son caught his older brother in his arms. So something got to be done on terrorism. But for those people, because I'm getting off of terrorism, as soon as possible.
My name is Julius Brown. 40 West Columbus Street. All hell. I never seen it go that bad, and I've been there over 20-something years. And that place is really bad. I got a place in the sleep on the 3rd floor. Play music all night long. Okay? Keep me awake. Never cut it off, all night long. And the music, they don't say nothing. Just boom, 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 boom. I got tired of the mess up. When I got tired of it, I called the 911. I got them to come involved to talk to him. Then I called the mayor and talked to him about what the situation was also. The place is going to hell. Look like it went to hell and came back. I'm gonna be honest with you. They got drugs, drugs, drugs. If I go in my kitchen, I smell that stuff coming through my door. I don't even smoke. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. It comes right through the door. I'm spraying all the time in my apartment. And it's ridiculous. You call it apartment, I don't call it apartment. I got a pipe. You're supposed to have a cut-off valve in your apartment. They don't even have a cut-off valve in my apartment. And that's ridiculous. It'll get too hot in there. You open up the door, I got garbage can right there. Hit me in the face. So either way I try to go, I'm smelling this stuff. And now you smell urine through the so-called vents they call themselves fixed. They ain't done nothing with that. The place is one hell of a mess.
Good evening. I'm living on 54 Greenwich Street, but I used to live in Terrace, and I know what the lady said because I had the same experience. But I also have the same experience at 54 Greenwich Street because I live across on Grove Street, and my daughters work and they coming late from work, and sometimes there is a jeep who follow them and who doesn't let them get out from the car. And sometimes we call the police, and the police never come. My husband has to come in, outside of the apartment to get them from the car because those people doesn't let them come in from the car. And I've been living in Hempstead since 1970, and the reason why I do not want to move from Hempstead, it is because I never feel discrimination in Hempstead. And Hempstead is for us, for the minority, and I want the government clean up Hempstead, because Hempstead is for us, the minority. And that's what we want to. We want to clean up, and it's not a cheaper place. We pay a higher rent, and we deserve to live a decent life in Hempstead. That's what we deserve to have, a decent life. Yes. And also I want to ask the governor if it is right we paying $100 if we pay a late fee, for rent, because sometimes the tenant, the owner from that building, he wants we pay $100 if we pay the fee for the month. And I understand this building is under the rent control. And also, he doesn't give us a hit. And I don't think it's fair, because it's a lot of handicapped people living there. And I am a handicapped too. And he said, he said when I asked him, he said this is a automatic hit. But he never give a hit in the building. And sometimes he turned off the water without letting us know. And I don't think that's fair, because sometimes I'm taking shower and the water went off without us know what happened. And I don't think that's fair. That's harassment. Yeah. And I need the government to do something for us, because we're paying a lot of taxes. And we deserve to live a good life.
That's right.
And that's my request. To clean up Hempstead. The police have to do something, because we call them and they do not come in when we call them. And we need them to drive around the area and clean up this place. Because we are afraid of the bad people here. And we need them to do something. We work very hard, and we deserve to have a security place here. We cannot move. That's why they have to give, and we vote for you. You have to give something in back. You have to pay back. Yes. It's not for free. Do something for us. Work for us.
Thank you very much.
Thank
This is my best friend over 20 years.
She was my nurse.
And I might not be a resident of Hempstead, but I had to do with a lot of Freeport Housing Authority. And basically, a lot of problems that is going to be heard and have been heard is the same thing that we were going through. And at the end of the day, when you hear these tenants, especially the seniors, and Mr. Ryan, no disrespect to you, because you have done a lot for the community and stuff like that and everything, but you have your village trustee here. To be perfectly honest, the chief of police or somebody from the police department should also be at these meetings too. They should, or anytime they have a forum like this, somebody from the police department, whether it's the chief or whoever, needs to be here. Because a lot of concerns, besides what's going on within the tenancy, also has to do with a lot of the security. And the seniors shouldn't even have to go through this.
That's right.
At all. Not seniors. After they don't work half their life, pay their taxes and stuff like that and whatnot, They should not live like this.
That's right.
Okay, the tenant part is one thing, but when it comes to security and children and safety, somebody from the village, from the police department should be here
The chief.
to hear these people concerns. Because this is something that goes on constantly. Constantly. Besides what's going on inside housing when it comes to the tenants and stuff like that and whatnot. And the concerns that you tenants have when it comes to basically your landlord, your heat, your this, your that, or whatever the case may be, that's what the village is for. You pay your taxes. That's what the mayor is for, to take these concerns to them. But when it comes to the security and stuff like that, somebody from the police department should be here. Because you will hear this over and over and over again. And you have children that are growing up in these complexes and stuff like that and whatnot. And dealing with the seniors and whatnot. They shouldn't have to, endure when it comes to the drugs and the addicts and stuff like that. They pay taxes. They pay taxes. It's not like we sitting around not doing nothing. You got people that pay taxes. Plenty of taxes. So, Mr. Ryan, again, trustee, next time, bring somebody from your police department here. Because at the end of the day, we pay them, they pay them taxes too.
Yeah. Thank you very much. So, yeah, one of the reasons to get us in the room too is so if the mayor is not hearing concerns, that he's hearing them now. And we want to follow up on all this stuff. So if it's security is the issue. I have one over here and I'll go right to you, okay?
My name is Frederick Charles, 440. I've been there just about 4 years. They were trying to get an electric generator when I came here. They still haven't got an electric generator. It's ridiculous. And I understand I've been there about 10 to 50 years. Why can't we get an electric generator? They got 9 floors now. And we just, and when it had stormed, it said the storm. Kate Murray, she passed a law. All gas stations have to have electric generator. Why can't we do that?
So I know that's an issue that we've been exploring at NYCC and that we're continuing to explore. It's frustrating.
You know, I'm telling you something. Nassau County have their own legislators. I mean, I might not be a lawyer, but they brothers is not stupid. They could legislate a law that people to put that electric generator tomorrow. But when they want to be elected, they run and tell you what they're going to do. And when they get elected, they do nothing. And I want to say something about the police department. The police department, I think they do a pretty good job. But you gotta let them know that the people that are stupid. I called her just within 2-3 weeks ago. I said, I want to speak to the officer. I want to speak to above a sergeant. They put me on the phone with somebody, said I'm officer so-and-so. I'm supposed to be stupid, think, know that he's not a lieutenant or captain. Because when he answers the phone, he's I'm captain so-and-so. But see, because we're the people in the community. We don't supposed to know that. When they get a uniform and a gun, the people are stupid. They got all the brains. And it shouldn't be. But the people don't have no respect. I don't know. It's just somebody they don't care, but they think you don't know anything.
One second, let's this gentleman.
I made 2 bucks myself, paid that bank. I called the cops every time. So I handcuffed him to the cops. He was on the roof before they even locked the seal of the door. And I said, you know, this is crazy. They're smoking crack, they're doing this and doing that, this and that. So I still comb that building when I come in and still watch that building. They be on my staircase, especially up to the top floor. And when I get them, I chase them out. You have girls in there, they have sex, the same thing all over. We ain't going back to that. I'm gonna tell you what, the security that they have up there, they scared. Number one, if you're a security guard, you ain't supposed to be scared.
Yeah.
You're supposed to do your job. That's what you're supposed to do, whether you get shot or not, or whatever's the case, scenario about, you know, what's going on. Because I ain't scared, I'm gonna go get them. And there's a lot of times cops give me a hard time. There was a tractor trailer in front of the building one day on Main Street, and I told the cops, look, and he said, where did the tractor go? I said, you take y'all so long, how y'all can't catch him? And I can catch him. Guys so involved about the tractor trailer. They never caught the tractor trailer. You know what I'm saying? Hempstead cops, some of them are all right and some of them not. I ain't gonna knock them, you know, but, you know, this is crazy. And I'm risking my life with no gun on me. You know what I'm saying? This is crazy. But, you know, I'm gonna protect where I live, you know? And I know Mr. Don Ryan for a long time. He's a good guy. Very good guy. I was on his Little League team years ago. This was going back in the 60s, 70s. I've been in Hempstead since Hempstead Bank was here. I'm a legend here. My parents never was like this. Never was like this. So when I see somebody, I went to the store the other day to get us some chicken. Chicken place over there on the corner. I paid the money. The guy goes, I told the cop to run the camera back. Oh, you got to go to court. I said, you mean to tell me you can't run the cops? Now he's gonna get pissed off with me. Now I'm bowling up there. I said, you can't do nothing to me. What you gonna do to me? You know, you got a lot of rookies on the force. The same thing with security guards. You got a lot of security guards that's rookie, and you got cops that's rookie. I'm not taking no sides on nobody. If you want to do your job, do your job. If that's what you want to do, or get out. You're risking your life. You go, you go. But I'm just saying, this crazy. But I'm gonna continue to watch that building. Mr. Brown, he's another good guy, very nice guy. And I'm gonna continue to watch that building at night. If I come in here at night, I go through all the floors. People don't know, but I do it from the time of my heart. And I'm gonna keep it. I'm looking to catch somebody. That's what I do. Now you got a homeless lady up here now with the clothes in the front of the room. I don't know if you all seen that.
Yes.
And I told the lady, she said, oh, I said, ma'am, you can't have these clothes up here. You can't do that. Move the clothes, but look, you know, stay in the little area and stay warm with it. I feel bad for her. But, you know, the clothes is out of the question.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You know, it's crazy. It don't make no sense. So I'm going to continue to take care of it, and I don't care about Hempstead College. I'm going to do what I got to do. So I'm going to do what I got to do.
Yes. Why isn't the police commissioner here?
So,
Good question.
we're gonna follow up with everything we talked
Answer my
about.
question.
I don't have an
Why
answer
isn't
to
the
that.
police commissioner
I think that we
here?
didn't plan on necessarily talking about police issues per se.
Okay, got
That
it.
was maybe a blind spot on our part.
All right, I have a
But
question.
we're gonna follow up on all this stuff and make sure that like,
All right, real quickly, what is the police commissioner's name and phone number?
why not, maybe you can talk to one of the trustees afterwards.
Okay, please. That is, the police
I see
commissioner.
Jean Sessions has her hands up.
I think that there should be given the police commissioner one name, two, the phone number.
So we'll follow up with you.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Oh, I got it, good. Good, we give it to you. Thank you. Thank you. I know. Get us all on this. I was gonna say.
Okay, so if anybody would like the police commissioner's phone number, I can give it to you right now.
Give it to everybody.
Police Chief McGowan.
With the spelling.
Okay, maybe
I want it, right here, because he should have been here.
Well, let's not get totally derailed by this. So I want to give Jean a chance to talk, because she had her hand up. Go ahead, Jean.
The number is,
Oh, I'm sorry. Let's,
it's spelled M-C-G-O-W-A-N. Do I have to write it down for you? Okay.
he's going to put it up on the
It's
paper.
516-483-6267. 6-3.
How many terms does the police commissioner serve here in Hempstead?
So let me follow up with you afterwards. Okay, we can go. All right, Gene, I want to give you a chance to speak.
One of the biggest problems in this village is the building department. When you call complaining about the noise, what's falling apart, that's the building department. But what happens is when you call or you go and you complain, whoever that's going out apparently calls the landlord to let them know they're coming.
Yeah.
That is true. I know for a fact.
So whenever they get there, nobody's answering the door, or the heat is on already, or whatever.
Same thing in our building, that's right.
And we asked to have a meeting in the building. We're not allowed to have a meeting.
That just started happening today.
We have put up signs like telling people we having a meeting here. They took all the signs down.
That's right.
Now, we supposed to have a meeting since, mayor's coming.
So let's talk about that. I mean, you have a tenant association in your building too, that we can bring it to the tenant association. But yeah, that should not be happening either. If you want to have a meeting.
You know, we got to call this conference, have a meeting, we're gonna turn the heat on in the community room, and this, I don't know why it's not.
So, does anybody else want to share issues that's going on in their building?
I do.
Okay.
My name is Sharon Jackson, 251 Jackson Street. I've been a resident of Hempstead Village. I've been a resident of Hempstead Village for about 20 years. However, I grew up around here. My grandparents raised their children here over at 43 High Street. The owner of my building now at 251 is the same owner under a different corporation at 43 High Street. I've watched that building digress, both buildings digress periodically. I need to know, and I've spoken at the rent board guidelines hearings. I expressed my concerns regarding safety issues, which is always the property owners. We talk about the police, yes. The police is supposed to back us up. But the property owners are the ones who are responsible for security and safety.
That is correct.
They need to be held accountable. We've gone to the state, DHCR, we've gone to the village, we've gone to the building department. What do we do to hold these people accountable? And again, like I said, my building owner operates a lot of buildings across Nassau County under different corporations, okay? Him and his dad have been notorious landlords in the village of Hempstead for decades. I was a tiny tot. I've always paid attention to these things. Now that I'm an adult, I have to deal with these things. And before he was the landlord, there were slight problems, but nothing of this magnitude. I spoke of one incident where there were vagrants having sex behind our dumpsters. That got resolved where our super chases them away. He's a good guy. He really, tries for the tenants. He lives in the building, which is a plus. However, the other night, last week, I was assaulted by someone gaining entry into our building by pressing buttons in the middle of the night. I went out with my dog to find out who this person is, and her boyfriend assaulted me, okay? I went across the street to the police, and they said next time, don't try to find out who it is or don't handle it on your own, call us. But yeah, I went across the street, they were still there. It took you a half hour just to walk me back to my apartment. So that's neither here or there. However, that situation could have been mitigated with security in the building, which we've always had. How do we hold these landlords accountable? We're doing the right thing. We're following the rules. We're going through the process. Because if we miss one step in the process, too bad for you. How do we hold these landlords accountable? That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson.
Any one or two more?
Hi, my name is Maureen Harrison. I live at 251 Jackson also, and my main concern is safety. I live on the 7th floor, and they're on late at night. You hear people running up and down the staircase, the alarm going on. They're smoking reefer, and the cigarette smoke sometimes is so strong. I have allergies. It's coming into my apartment, but what scares me is, one evening I did overtime. I came home at 9 o'clock. Where my apartment door is right across from the exit door. There were 2 people on that staircase. I was nervous. My husband works evening. This is 9 o'clock at night. And sometimes you can hear them, I'm on the 7th floor, you can hear them up on the roof. So as you were saying, security, really. And they know what they're doing. I called one time during the summer, and now this is what really gets me. The tenants in the building across, it was the summertime, they were hanging out in their car. The gentleman, I was watching them, got out of his car and urinated in the parking lot. And what shocked me was he didn't bring his behind upstairs. He drove and parked his car right in the space. You know what my husband did the next day? He put a note on his car and said, the next time you want to use the bathroom, go upstairs to your apartment. I called the police. It took them 45 minutes to get there. 45 minutes. So by the time they came around circling with the car, they zooted off and left.
Hi, my name is Stern Shivers, and I'm a resident of 100 Terrace Avenue. Something I want to throw out there, we have a Long Island Tenants Union that a lot of you don't know about. And Mr. Reed, he's the president of the Tenants Union. I'm the vice president of the Tenants Union. And Mr. Brown is the president also of the Tenants Union. And our job is to listen to your complaints, take them down, find out what building you live in. Would you say what we do? We do go to the, like you say, they don't do nothing because they all in bed. So what you do is you get the media involved because they don't like attention. You know, when we know that the people from the building department ain't doing nothing, or the mayor ain't doing nothing, or the police ain't doing nothing, you get the media involved and you shine the light on it. You know what I'm saying? Because it stays in the dark. I too have been a victim of assault in my building where I lost 2 front teeth. All right? Mayor Ryan knew about it when he was a trustee. You know, and still nothing was done. I was assaulted on June 5th. Cameras everywhere, and that's another thing I don't understand. They take our money and put all these cameras up, but you're not solving any crimes. Not solving any crime. You know what I'm saying? The police department needs to respect us when we call them. You know, because it is dangerous. I have a 12-year-old son. He's been assaulted and had concussions fooling around with these people. You know, the loopholes. I got evicted twice in 60 days, you know, and I did the right thing. I went and got help. The people was gonna help me, so, because the landlord really didn't want me in there, he played games with 40 Main Street and they held the check for 41 days. The police assaulted me. I was in my house naked when they came in. Oh my God. They pepper sprayed me. You know, but I'm still in the building because Peter Flory was allowed in his management to get away with these little lapses in the law, you know, but I'm still in the building, and I'm going to fight to stay in that building. I'm going to fight for my community. You have to get these drugs off the street. What hurts me is we sat in meetings, me, you, Peter Flory, and everybody, and it's like you're in bed with them too, and we love you to death. You know what I'm saying? But you have to step aside from that. You know, we support you, so you have to support us. You have to do it, Don. We gave you a chance. Do what you're supposed to do for us. You sit with Peter Flory and have lunch and dinner. Say, yo, man, you're not doing what you're supposed to do. This is my town. It makes you look bad. It makes you look bad when these landlords ain't doing what they supposed to do. This is your town. You know, we look out for you, look out for us.
All right. So I don't know if we have one more person that wants to talk about issues, and then we're going to kind of pivot into the. Sure, go ahead.
The only thing I want to say, my name is I live in 400 Fulton Avenue. I live in the 6th floor. I have to bend my low back, I have to bend my knees, I have hernia in my neck. I have to step so many times, step to the lobby, to the 6th floor. All I want to do, move it out to the building, or switch my apartment for 2nd floor, 3rd floor. Please, that's what I want.
So I just want to thank everyone for sharing. I really want to thank the mayor for coming and listening to everyone's complaints. What we're going to do is be in conversation with the mayor, and we're going to follow up with each and every one of you about the specific issues that you have. And
I'm going to introduce you.
Let's have this gentleman make it clear.
Hi, my name is.
I see everything that's going to go with what the council will go ahead and do it. If I really wanted to, I can bust a whole lot of people. They don't want to do it. They lay back. And that's what you gotta do to stop all of it. You gotta go in these buildings and just raid it. That's what you gotta do.
so let's continue to talk about the legal aspects, but I think also like good security, a good landlord, is going to too, right? So
We have to go to court later. I'll worry about that later. And odds, I'm gonna win.
Hello, everyone. My name is Samantha Fountain, and I deal with the tenant issues. And here standing with me is Trustee Charles Renfro, and you already spoke, and Trustee Gladys Rodriguez and Mayor Ryan. And also, Lynn Poole, if I'm not mistaken, she's here on behalf of Legislator Bino's office. So she is in our building too. But I have wanted to speak on some things. As far as the issues with the security and the police, Mayor Ryan and the Board of Trustees do meet with our Chief of Police on a weekly basis, and he will address, every Monday, and he will address these concerns with our Chief of Police about all of your concerns as far as the police is concerned. And Trustee Renfro can elaborate on that a little bit more as far as the police. Now, as far as the security of the building, a lot of these buildings in Hempstead are rent stabilized, with the exception, because you all named them, is 100 Terrace Avenue.
Yes.
And 400 Fulton Avenue. They are not rent stabilized buildings, okay? No. Your two buildings are HUD-based buildings, and where they go by, the Section 8 is there within the unit, but once you move out, it stays in that particular unit. But they're not rent stabilized, and then they do charge you, the rent increases is totally different. Now, some people did address situations as far as rent stabilized buildings. That was 621 Front Street, 40 West Columbia, 54 Greenwood Street, 251 Jackson Street. Now, a lot of these concerns, and I remember she had stood before the Rent Guidelines Board, we had met, along with Mayor Ryan, and some other elected officials had spoke. And we got a 0% increase for a 1-year lease and 0% increase for a 2-year lease because of their arguments and a lot of these same major concerns that y'all are having right now because you are not happy with what the landlords are doing there at your particular buildings that you reside in, which are, the no heat, the security issues, because when you reside in a rent stabilized unit, what happens is, if security was there or if carpet was there, they have to leave security there. They have to bring the carpet back. This unit have to be the same way when you first came into the building. But what the major issue what we're finding, all of the units, because someone asked the question, is it the whole building was rent stabilized or it's just the apartment? And Jean answered it, it's the apartment because of the vacancy allowance. That's a killer. I gave you out a pamphlet, I gave it to Ben. It was a couple of sheets that had came from Tenant's PAC in New York City. There's a meeting, they invited Governor Cuomo to attend, which is on December the 13th in New York City. But that doesn't mean he's gonna be there. That's right. But he is going to go meet in January to go speak about our tenant issues when the young lady was speaking about the Long Island group that you do have. But we do collaborate with you. But if you do have concerns inside of your apartment unit, we do have a buildings department. You have to, as a tenant, lodge a complaint in our buildings department. So Mimi, if you don't mind putting that number up on the wall, Joseph Simone is our superintendent of the buildings department, and he does have building inspectors and code enforcers who do go out. But you have to give them your apartment number, your phone number, and they will come to your home, and that number is 478-6238, and they will send someone to your home to address any of your concerns that you may have. Also, the 400 Fulton Avenue, you had indicated that the super is leaving the doors open. I got a chance to speak to Shoma from 400 Fulton Avenue, the tenants over there, Mr. Reed, and they indicated that they had wanted to have a meeting with the mayor. So I did reach out to the owners, because remember when myself and the mayor and, others had came over to your building to meet.
Once before, yeah.
Yeah, so they did wanna, we did address some of the concerns that you all had, but they do wanna meet, but if I'm not I didn't know that you all couldn't meet in the community room anymore, because
No,
you don't have a community room.
Can I say something?
Oh, let's get it. You read, say what you have to say.
He's doing some things, I'm not knocking him about that. But here's the thing, there's a lot of situations where his attitude is he works for the state. Most of everything is going through the state. But the bottom line is, you come in and you say, well, y'all can't do this. Well, if the mayor wants us to know something, we can't post it. Why? Because he said we can't post it. So in other words, when nothing is being said or done about it, then you look at us and say, well, what's going on? Well, the super said, no, you can't do that. In other words, his thing is, I can understand him running the building the way he wants to run it, but we got to respect certain things. And the fact of the matter is, no disrespect to anybody, but as far as the building department is concerned, I'll put it this way. I don't deal with it. I'll call them with a complaint and give them 3 days, because Mr. Simone, when y'all had the meeting, when we had the meeting over there, when he was there, and a lot of things, was like saying, talking to that wall.
That's right.
Yeah, I know that. So I'll just leave that part alone, and we don't work on it some kind of way. But in the meantime, he's not right.
No.
And I don't deal with it. As far as management, I respect management. For certain things, they take and throw it out the window. You make a complaint about certain things need to be done, or you call them to ask them, and they say, yeah, well, we'll get to it. Okay, when? But, you can't force nobody to do nothing, because like you say, the first thing they tell you, it's a private building, so nothing they can do for you. It's a private building. This is also what Joe Simone and them say, no, it's a private building, so we can't help you. What do you mean you can't help? So in other words, if something falls down into somebody, what you gonna do? You gonna turn around and walk out the door? No. Like I say about heat, yeah, they'll come over and knock on your door. When they come and knock on, just like someone that said, they'll call and say, the inspector's coming.
That's right.
Give a heads up. They know that the inspector's coming. Well, we want him to come, because he's supposed to come there to see what's wrong. And we can go and work together, then let's sit down and work together, man. And not turn around and say, well, they wouldn't let me in. So how come they wouldn't let you in? You came, when you come there, it's like waiting until I turn on my oven and I got heat.
Yeah.
Because a lot of time before this new super comes, or he turned the heat on before October 1st. Big deal. The heat, according to the building department, it was on October 1st to May 31st. Don't tell me nothing, because they got on my case, because I didn't know. I thought it was the same as the city. They said, no.
No, that's the village statute.
I know, but I'm saying, but what they told the village, what they said to me, said, listen, you make sure you tell them tenant that heat comes supposed to be on October 1st to May 31st. Yeah, right. And if anybody does any different, you better make sure you let us know, okay? And when it wouldn't happen, when we didn't have no heat, that's what I did. I would call y'all and let y'all get check it and see. But sometimes they're like, time of a blind eye. For what? And you got tenants over there, you got seniors. Seniors get cold, and when they end up dying from pneumonia, they say, well, they should have called me. No, they should have called you because you knew they was gonna be there. See? Like I said, and then I'm gonna set up. But like I said, when the new super came, he told me, well, we turned the heat on early. So what? I'm good you turned it on early. It's something you did that Aaron never didn't do. The other ones didn't do. Okay, fine. We appreciate that. But when time comes to do what you're supposed to do that. And don't treat us like we're no children. But people in here, I learned about being a senior. When you get a certain age, you got to go through, if you live long enough, you go through the same situation. You got to respect everybody like they were supposed to do, but you don't have to be treated like a child. Because the seniors here that are older, and look at me, just because I'm 74, don't mean nothing. They're older than I am, and I gotta give them respect. I say, yes ma'am and no ma'am. Yeah, I'm a vet, but you still do that. That's the way you do. You treat people right. That's right.
Sheree, let's keep talking about the 400, and we'll follow up as far as the community room, and Samantha and I can also talk about it. Let's give her one second.
Right, and the mayor doesn't mind us having a meeting with A&D Realty, so we will reach out to them again, because I think, like I said, I spoke to Shoma, I know that she was just out. You had wanted to say something?
Yeah, I want to ask a question. Why would you have everyone in here like you see?
What?
They do. It don't work. They do.
They send them to another phone and Rubik Center. We don't have it.
No, we have have a 311 lease. Yes, we do.
Follow up on that too.
Call it right now. I'm calling it.
Okay, everybody, can we give Samantha a second just to finish up? We're kind of running close on time, and I have maybe like a 5-minute spiel to do, so.
The only thing what I wanted to say was too, now some of these complaints that you have in all of the buildings, you can file an individual complaint form or a building-wide complaint form. An individual, I have the forms in my office. Now, a lot of people feel they gotta go to Gertz Plaza over there at 9231. You don't have to. You can come to my office. I'll print out the forms for you. Or if you have a contact person, Mr. Lofton knows, Jean knows, you know, because they run their buildings, Mr. Reed knows. I'll print out the forms for you. I'll even fill them out for you.
Yes,
You
you
can come to
will.
me anytime, Monday through Friday, from 8:30 to 4:15. You don't have to set up a time. You know, and if you work earlier, I'll come in early. If you work later, I'll stay, you know, to make it convenient for you. I'll mail it or I'll fax and I'll help you fill out the forms for you. And when you need to file these forms with the state, because they give you docket numbers, and Mr. Reed, you know, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Reed, you got rent reductions over there, right? Yes, rent. Mr. Lofton. Mr. Reed, I'm sorry. No, right, Mr. Lofton, I'm looking at him. So, Mr. Lofton, right, but you got rent freezes, correct? You got rent freezes on top of rent freezes because of what we're doing, you know, and making these changes in the village. So things can be done, and I'm there, you know, for you at your disposal anytime, Monday through Friday. You call, and I'll help you out. Yes, ma'am.
Like the rent, company rate, right? We only pay a certain amount. When they reach that level, you have to move out.
Well, what happens in your building is, see, y'all deal with the 40 Main Street. You have a representative over at 40 Main Street that all the representatives deal with over there. I can't think of her name right now. And your rent is still based on 30% of your monthly gross income from whatever you receive from us.
They keep raising, so how do you correct that? I don't think that much is happening. They keep raising when they hit that 7 bar. I'm out of here. Who am I supposed to know?
So one of the things we want to do is anybody that's getting a rent raise that they think they have a question about, I want to follow up with you through the sign-in sheets and let's look at it individually so we can make sure your rent is not getting raised more than it's supposed to. And that way, it'll sort of like, because some of these questions get really like individual.
Supposed to be 30%.
So yeah,
Right.
Samantha, what hours are you in the?
Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 4:15.
And yes,
And the
Samantha
number
is
is
great.
516-478-6209.
So I promise, we will follow up with everybody.
516-478-6209. That's the direct number.
Can
And-
you give us a piece of paper with that, please?
Yes, ma'am.
We're ready.
Samantha Bowles. 415. And you don't have to set up an appointment, just walk in whenever you want, Monday through Friday.
Office located in this? I just asked one question. I got here a little late, so I apologize. Vince Johnson, 251 Jackson. I don't know if anybody asked about the travel of the bus right here on Jackson, and we haven't had that road paved in years. I just have a quick, that's all I want to know. Can we get the road paved on Jackson? Right out here.
I believe it's on the list right now on the schedule.
All right, thank you.
Okay. My name is Charles Renfro. I'm a trustee of the village of Hempstead. When we ran for office, myself, Mayor Ryan, trustee Lamont Johnson, and Judge Paul Dell, we ran on the Unity Party, which means that we are for all the people.
Okay.
And one thing I can tell you, I heard someone say that Don Ryan is in bed with somebody. I just want to clear this up, that he's not in bed with anyone. Don Ryan doesn't take bribes, neither does anyone on this team. So we took this job for a reason, to help each and every one of you, to make certain that we do what's right for you all. Now listen, I have to applaud you all for showing up in a group like this. I mean, there's a lot of you here. I've never seen this many people at a table. And you should applaud yourself for coming out tonight. The one thing that I would tell you that we have a lot of stuff on this list, but I tell you, we're not going to do it overnight. but we're gonna start tomorrow.
Promise?
We're gonna start tomorrow, that's the promise.
We gonna hold
We
him
have police
accountable
patrol
for
on
it.
Terrace.
Let me finish. I listened to everybody when I heard everybody. I heard all of your concerns. And I can tell you that we are not going to clear this up overnight. But what I can promise you is that we will start. We will start. I am appalled at some of the things that I see here on this list. I am appalled to listen to you all and tell me what's going on wrong in your building where you are paying rent. I am appalled that you have to put up with situations like you do in your building where you are paying rent. It's not right, and it's not fair to you.
And especially for the seniors, come on already.
And especially for the seniors.
For everybody.
Everybody, but especially for the seniors and the disabled seniors who are dying of pneumonia because this is a local.
Okay, ma'am.
Let him finish.
But here's what you have to remember. In order to get things done, you have Community for Change here. You have the village, and you have the rest of us here to try and help you get to where you should be in these buildings when you are paying that kind of rent. I know that Hempstead is not a cheap place to live. And I hear you all saying how long you've been here, and I have somebody can vouch for me right there. And Don, I've been here over 60 years. So I know, over 60 years. So I can tell you that I am concerned about Hempstead, I am concerned about you, I am concerned about your problems. I just ask that you give us the chance to get started on this list that we have here. And when you come back again, I cannot, well, maybe I can tonight because he can't speak. Went to the dentist, but he's still here. He's still here. Better than me, I don't know if I would have came. I told David I didn't know whether I was going to be able to make it tonight. But I came because we are concerned about Hempstead, not just one area, but all areas. The Unity Party, that's why we ran. And I want you to hold us accountable for things that we say and that we don't do. The only way we're going to find out what's going on in your apartment and in your community, your neighborhood, is that you come out like this and you tell us. But the one thing that I would not, I shouldn't say stand for. Don't accuse us of taking bribery. Maybe other people you dealt with did that. Maybe somebody's talking about kickbacks and stuff. We don't do that. That's the one thing. I listen to everyone. I didn't put up my hand. I didn't say a word. When I finish, then you can say whatever you want to say to me. Just don't throw no eggs or nothing at me, okay? I am telling you that we are here for you. We're here for you. We can't be everywhere, but we can all be somewhere. And we are here to help to do whatever we can. And David, I will see you on Wednesday. Okay? Thank you very much, and thanks for inviting us. And next time I will speak to the mayor about bringing the chief and somebody from the building department at the next meeting. But let us know in time. Thank you very much.
Yeah, all right, so we're gonna wrap in like 5 minutes. I just wanted to let people know, so if you are in a rent stabilized unit, some people talk about the rent guideline board, you should not be getting raises on your rent for 1 year or 2 year leases.
That is for 40 Main Street, he said.
So, 400 Fulton is a different thing. So that's for rent stabilized units. Those were the units that were covered by EPTA. Now, if you guys are getting rent raises, I want to look at those too in 400 Fulton and make sure. But if you're in a rent stabilized unit, there should be no rent raises with your new lease for 1 year or 2 years. Effective October.
Effective October 1st of this year. Effective October 1st of this year to September 30th. And then someone had indicated that they're not allowing you to do, if I'm not mistaken, April said that, some tenants to do 2-year leases. You can file a complaint. Because there was 1 year at 599 621 Front Street, a tenant had filed a complaint against the owners of the Nassau County with DHCR, and they got treble damages. Like 3 times as much more money. So they really do, sometimes. One person over there is not doing their job. Okay?
We know that.
But they are really, they're trying to turn it over to somebody else to do something, but there's one person over there that, that is working with the owners. Mr. Lofton knows who it is.
Yes.
And Gene. But we're working on that. We know who it is too.
So,
Ben, I'm addressing this to you. 30% of your income is included in your rent, with Section 8, is that correct? Ben,
yeah.
all right, how do you find out if they're overcharging you 30% of your Section 8?
So what we're gonna do, Wanda, we'll look at your lease and we'll figure it out. But I'm gonna look at it individually. So again, if you're in rent stabilized units, you need to be looking at when you get your new lease and making sure that you're not getting raises. If you're getting a rent raise that you think is not correct, feel free, stop by my office, 91 North Franklin, Suite 209, go see Samantha. You know, we'll do a little investigation for you and we'll help you fill out whatever paperwork needs to be done. 209, see, works out perfect. 209 is the number to remember. So you and I will talk and we'll figure out. Sharon, one thing.
One thing, everybody here, we all live in different buildings, we all live in the same place. Communicate with each other, building to building, neighbor to neighbor. We don't get anything done, we don't know, I wouldn't have known that anything was wrong with you guys. I have a big mouth, I will do whatever I can. I'm a nobody, but I'm a big mouth nobody, okay? We need to communicate with each other, okay? Very important, that's it.
So just to wrap up, because we literally have like 2 minutes. So rent stabilized units in Nassau County are governed by the Emergency Tenant Protection Act. NYCC is fighting to expand that act so it covers Suffolk County and all of New York State. So that's a big fight at the state level. So and if you guys want to be involved in that fight, we're going to be contacting you and trying to get you involved in that fight as well. We're at the end. I wanted to thank Trustee Lamont Johnson for coming.
When's the next meeting?
So the next meeting we'll decide. I want to have a chance to follow up with everybody, but this will not be the last time we meet. And if we could do one thing before we go, if you are a member of a tenant association in your building, can you just raise your hand right now?
What does that mean? Like,
If you come out to the tenant association meetings in your building, so if you're seeing people that live in your building that have their hand up now, you need to find them and find out when the next meeting in your building is. Because that's how we're going to start to build.
Is there a number that everybody can get to take action? Is there a number that everybody can get? Who should we call? If some people are scared, let's be clear. Some people are scared. They want to talk to you, but they don't want to talk in this forum. So is there a number that they can call to talk?
So my number was on any of the flyers that people got. Anyone can contact me anytime. And I'm sure like the mayor's office would be like glad to hear anybody's issues. Like, okay. But my commitment to you is I'm going to follow with every person that's here, and we're going to move forward on whatever issues you guys have, all right? And I just want to thank everyone for coming out again.